3. As a Liverpool fan and a Detroit Lions fan, I've become accustomed to hearing quotes and some monologues from coaches that really gets you motivated and gets your blood boiling. In the last 24 hours, some coaches over in England producing some less than inspirational quotes. We'll start off yesterday. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta kind of giving his team an excuse for their poor finishing after complaining about the ball. The ball was just too light and it was flying over the bar, and that's why they couldn't score or defend against Newcastle yesterday.
Let's hear Miguel explain this.
Kicked a lot of the balls over the bar, and it's tricky that this ball flies a lot. It's just different, very different to the Premier League ball, and you have to adapt to that because it flies different. When you touch it, the grip is very different as well, so you adapt to that.
Okay, here's the thing, Mikel. This may be true on some level, right? The ball could be different. Do you remember the Jabulani?
Yeah. I reference that comes to mind more often than it should.
2010 World Cup ball. All the goalkeepers complaining about the Jabulani. It was a terrible ball. Terrible. It's the worst ball ever. I can't believe we're playing with this ball. It's unfair to us as goalkeepers because what it knuckled? Is that what it was?
It was a knuckler. So there was a lot of long distance goals in that tournament.
So I remember that tournament being full of those. Was that the James Rodriguez coming out party, or was that Brazil?
That was Brazil.
Remember.
That was 2014 in Brazil.
All right.
It was vuvuzelas and knuckleball shots in 2010.
Okay, so that's what it was. Yeah. Mikel Arteta could be right that the ball is different enough that it has some impact on how players kick it. I mean, again, this is not to say there isn't some truth to what he's saying, but to bring it up in a press conference after you've been handled. Now, okay, you look at the balance of that game, you look at the stats, you look at the chances. Arsenal was
knocking on the door almost the whole game.
Exactly. Right. Their issue was finishing. And then again, this is the excuse. So, okay, there are two possibilities here. Mikel Arteta is a big whiny baby making excuses about how his team couldn't find a goal against Newcastle, or he's protecting his players. Maybe if you want to get convoluted about this
like I said, quotes that get your team fired up and saying my team didn't know how to adjust to a ball doesn't seem like good cover.
No, it doesn't. But at the same time, when you've got Kai Havertz and the group taking heat for not being able to score, what you're doing by saying the ball is different is, and they may know it's a bunch of bullshit. They may know Mikel Arteta is hablando mierda, like he's making up stuff, but that at least gets, the gaffer's got me. Like, yes, maybe I screwed up and I'm feeling bad about it, but the gaffer isn't going out into the media and saying, these guys got to finish better. Can't believe we didn't score. This is so terrible. Or even responding to questions about bad finishing by saying, yes, we need to do better. He is actually giving cover. I know you said it's weak cover, but he's trying to give cover to his. That's the only one thing I can think of here, because why are you bringing this up? Everybody plays with the same ball. Alexander Isak plays with the same ball as Arsenal does in that game, and he didn't have a problem.
To be fair, his goal did rip the top of the net, so maybe that would have gone lower, not tucked inside the crossbar. Right. Thank you, Mateo. Wayne Font's my goat. That's a throwback. I haven't heard that name in quite some time. That's some early 90s Lions reference. And then Nate correctly, same ball for both teams. And so true. And this is for clarity, this is the miter ball that's used in all the EFL matches. So league, Championship, League One, League Two, all of the Carabao Cup games, and I believe other things. And the Carabao Cup was quick to counter this quote saying that this goes through all the FIFA regulations and everything that
of course it does,
all the balls do. So that's basically just pushing back that the ball was just fine. In the second less than inspirational quote that came across our desks, Ange Postecoglou in the preparation for the League Cup semifinal leg one match with Liverpool this afternoon. This quote, do you have the audio for this, or are we reading this one from Postecoglou?
We do. Here we go. This is what Ange had to say about Mo Salah if he was a Spurs player.
Mo's a world-class player, but you put him in our team at the moment, I'm not sure he would have the same impact because of the situation we're in as a group. as attacking play, what do you need? You need a team that's kind of in good form, creating opportunities, playing on the front foot, having a really solid sort of foundation of a defence that, is cohesive. Like, none of these things exist at the moment. So we're relying really on individual moments, and
That's a brutal quote in my opinion. If I was
Mo's an unbelievable player, but he's playing in a
if I was a
Sorry about
Spurs, the double tap, that's fine. It happens to the best of us, Jason. But if I was a player, I mean, granted, my professional soccer player days are well in my rearview mirror. But if I was Son or any of the other attacking, Timo Werner, are you filled with motivation that I can, succeed and, this group is really moving forward in the right direction? If Mo Salah wouldn't even be good in my team?
It's just a different approach, but it's still the same idea. This is still cover for Spurs attacking players. And you can talk about Timo Werner, and Matteo saying that Timo Werner is so bad, a warm body is better than him.
Woo.
Okay. But Son is not Timo Werner, and he's not playing well, and he's not scoring goals, and his form has dropped off. And I think what this is Ange saying even the best players struggle when a team is not playing cohesive soccer, right? This is just, I think this is actually probably very true. I don't think Mo Salah is scoring the goals, doing what he's doing at this level. He's still a very good player, right? He would still get his share, but he may very much be in a Son situation if he was a Spurs player, because, as Ange says, they do not have the Now, the funny thing about this is that it's Ange who continues to stick to his guns on his approach that leads to the lack of a platform that allows for Spurs to be better defensively, which he actually mentions in that quote. He mentions some of the defensive structure that allows Mo Salah to feel free to play the way he plays at Liverpool, which is delivering all the goals. So what Ange is actually saying is, I'm not doing a very good job of managing this team. And as much as I love Ange as a quote and as a character, man, what are you doing? You are saying that one of the best players in the world wouldn't have as much success at Spurs because of your tactics. Ange, those are you choose the tactics. That the buck stops on your desk. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, we shall see if that inspirational quote motivates Postecoglou Spurs past Liverpool in the semifinal.
Well, one more note on this, because this is the other part of it from KY. Playing with better players makes you better. British media seem hell-bent on browbeating Ange as much as possible. Okay, again, definitely. I have some time for criticism of Ange on his approach. When things aren't working, you make changes, and he hasn't done nearly enough of that. But there is also this. The injury situation, the continued absence of important players at Spurs has made it very difficult in Ange Postecoglou. And if Liverpool was going through a similar injury crisis and Virgil van Dijk was missing and Curtis Jones was missing and Konate was missing, you would probably have the same issues. The team would have to play differently to make up for those absences. And if they didn't play differently, they would be open on the back. And then your attacking players, as Ange mentions with Son, are then responsible individually for making things happen. You can only ask Kulusevski and Son to do so much before everybody knows what's happening here. It's going to be easier to beat Spurs.
Yeah, no doubt. Liverpool and Tottenham this afternoon, on Wednesday afternoon, in the Carabao Cup semifinal leg one. Be sure to hit subscribe on the Morning Kick Around YouTube channel. Morning Kick Around, 2 words, on our way to 500. Be sure to click the button and follow along on social media at mkickaround on X, Instagram, Blue Sky. And if you want to write an email, morningkickaround@gmail.com.